would like to talk today about one of my favorite bands, Atari Teenage Riot. Often in previous podcasts on the Stark Truth, I have referenced Atari Teenage Riot and digital hardcore as a tremendous influence on me. So, when I was 15 years old, I was really into video games like Doom, and my one of my favorite bands ever is KMFDM. I still love Sasha Konietzko, Enesh, Raymond Watts, Gunter Schultz. I love that crew, and I always follow their music. And for a long time, I thought KMFDM was the truth, and still is my guiding light and truth, though I don't reference the band that much. But a band I like to reference that I think is equivalent to KMFDM is Atari Teenage Riot. When I was 15 years old, I remember just going in the Barnes & Nobles and just picking up weird electronic music CDs whenever I would just get my allowance, you know. And one of them, I had an album, and it had a broken TR-909 on it with a little manga entertainment sticker, and it said Atari Teenage Riot, 1994 to, I think, 2012 or 2006, I think, 2007. But I bought it because I liked the front cover. Unfortunately, I cannot find what the album looks like, but here's the disc right here. It's basically a greatest hits album, and I was just really curious. I remember picking it up and looking at the books and looking at the pictures in it, and just being amazed. I remember playing Hexen, that computer game. I would be playing Hexen, killing these dragons, and then listening to Start the Riot and Speed and the Atari Teenage Riot 2 song. And I just have that vivid memory. And at first I was kind of blown away by it. It was just sheer noise. It was and just screaming. And I remember saying, wow, this band's not good. It's bad. That's what I thought, right? Until I looked more period, I was kind of, in a way, Atari Teenage Riot was the first leftist band I had really ever discovered. They had a song about how they wanted to kill Nazis, and they're very against racism and had left-wing politics. And I looked into this as I was quite shocked by it. I'm like, well, what's so bad about Nazis, right? I literally thought that when I was 15. And so I was kind of weird about Atari Teenage Riot because I thought of them as these left-wing shills. I mean, I think Alec Empire is kind of Jewish himself. And that the whole band, there's Carl Crack, who's black, you know. He died of drug overdose. Typical, right? He didn't do anything for the band. And I had a huge crush on Nick Endo, the Japanese-American girl with the face tat. I couldn't say it in words, but I had a huge crush on her, and I still do. And, just listening to that, I was kind of, in denial that Atari Teenage Riot was good. I thought of them as being this, they're noisy and they're leftist, and it was the first time I ever was aware of, SJW stuff, even before the term was coined. So I would go on and listen to other alternatives of Atari Teenage Riot, and yet at the same time, when I was 15, 16, I had Reason, and I was making weird breakcore tracks and uploading them ilovebreakcore.com or something, and just talk about how much I hated Atari Teenage Riot and pissing and trolling people off. But it wasn't until I was 17, or hold on. Yeah, it wasn't until I was 17 did I discover a band called Realice ID. This is their album Resisting the Viral Self, and they were kind of a new digital hardcore band mixing the new modern American hardcore with gabber, and it was really intense. And I saw them when I was 17. There's a video of online with me with an afro and a green shirt jamming out to these guys. I should upload that onto YouTube or something if I can get the video and find it. But probably was my youth right here. I was a total roadie and total loved Robert and Human and Jim Swill. I was a huge zealot for them, and I was a part of the Realice ID religion. It was only a few months later did I see Mavis Concave, who is very similar to Realice ID, the same label, the same kind of digital hardcore. Amazing stuff. It just was influenced to the Atari Teenage Riot sound, but in the American tradition. And so I think at that age I was open, and I was I want to do digital hardcore, and I was making weird beats like that. I was the school shooter Elliot Rogers kid. I was donning KMFDM and Atari Teenage Riot t-shirts and Realice ID and just telling the people the truth that electronic punk music is the future. I was really into that. And then I think after that, I started to give Atari Teenage Riot another try, and it was in Ocean City, New Jersey, at a defunct record store. Did I pick up a promo copy of 60 Second Wipeout? And here's my beat up copy. Everything, it's so cruddy, and I gave it another try, and I listened to it again, and I felt the same, like, it sucks. But now I'm kind of like, it irrationally influenced the way I think. Their last concert was 1999 at the Brexton Academy, opening up for Nine Inch Nails, and they just did a 20-minute noise session, pissed off everyone. So, at the same time, another band that I really liked was White House. I enjoyed White House. I love Trevor Brown and Peter Sotos. Wriggle Like a Fucking Eel. That song. I understood White House in middle school when I was like 14, 15. I was listening to White House before Atari Teenage Riot. I was just like, yeah, anal cunt, noise. That's what I thought in terms. But now I'm kind of making this like, I'm getting Keck Magick. And I think Atari Teenage Riot is a magical form of this new Keck Magick. I get that there's a left-wing message. However, through the lyrics and avoiding that Alec Empire might be a Jew, I think it's like there's some weird magic going on. Nick Endo being like Japanese. I really think Atari Teenage Riot is the leading Asian-Aryan band that could change the world. And unfortunately, they need to be more... it's weird because it's like they were originally opening acts for KMFDM and Prodigy as this like kind of like, 3 steps ahead Gabber hardcore stuff, and it was just not really... It's just like a fun experiment, really. But reading the lyrics to Anarchy 999, it says, a dividing conflict is about to come, a virtual mass murder. You better run. Digital hardcore emphasized. Our results make them compromised. 60 seconds until the meltdown. Another countdown will make my day. Anarchist leagues are forming all over. Nowhere. We're going to pay. I don't, and I won't, and you will know what it's all about. Fuck the new conformity. We're gonna take you down. We add risk to the explosion situation, Americanized mass manipulation, a waste of mankind, and that's just a taste. They got the money, and we got the blade. And things get out of control. Just back off. Some head's gonna roll. My soul's on fire. I'm warning you. The next Messiah, I am. I'll bang your fucking head. The new Auschwitz is hiding. A nation is accused, but I tell you, we will survive. There's nothing you can do. And there's some, let me find some more esoteric lyrics here. Forget everything you've ever considered real and fear the turning of the new year. A 2000s move near countdown till the ball drops. No more cops run for cover. From the falling atomic rocks, Y2K deletes us from the program. The president's an alien from planet Zoltron. Nowhere to go, man. Surrounded by death and disease. The sun loses its heat and the planets freeze. And let's see, I love... In the days of the future past, here at last, I engage in the task of protecting what we have splattered the bad, calculated math, 5,760, 52 years to think quickly. Death to peace, my destiny is born ready. Kamue's weapon X aligned with the god text. Samurai which wills to die from condomless sex. Generation X was lost in a holocaust not guided by force. The mind is divorced. The body and our souls is what it cost. I'll say the last one. The gamble of white supremacy lies out there to die. Anarchy in 999 from 1990 on. So from just these lyrics from Anarchy 999, there's some weird cyberpunk esoteric futurism going on. Now mind Auschwitz and white supremacy for a bit, and if you can, I fell for that trap 10 years ago, but now I'm above it all. There's this weird Pepe Keck Magick that makes me replace Auschwitz with Holodomor and white supremacy with Jewish supremacy. So I can retranslate Atari Teenage Riot to a more alt-right anarcho noise, right? I think that most people can't get into Atari Teenage Riot because they think of the message and the image first. And Alec Empire is a funny kind of guy. He makes music about Game Boy Camera, Nintendo Teenage Robots, being in Iceland. He's pretty crafty. And Atari Teenage Riot was like a funny experiment, you know, like a Atari computer Teenage Riot. It was just maybe like a white label. But in a way, as they got bigger, they were kind of like a Prodigy spinoff, you know, into this whole. And yet, Alec Empire and Atari Teenage Riot made up breakcore, and that genre is Asian-Aryan, right? That is this weird. You see, how we have to defeat Antifa is we got to listen to more digital hardcore and Atari Teenage Riot, as this will make this new kind of Keck magic. You know, Realice ID, they give out manuals and zines and anarcho-philosophy with their work. You might think it's leftist. I mean, one of their songs, The Absent Rapist by Jim Swill, that is a anti-Peter Soto song. You know, again, or even the song Can't Relate, how about anarchist kids are just pathetic. But avoid the left-wing tongue of Atari Teenage Riot and Realice ID, and then you can go beyond it and use the digital hardcore and create Keck me magic. You know, you can make it about Trump or make it about Asian girls, right? Atari Teenage Riot, the band, it's like, okay, there's a Jew, a Japanese, a black guy, and another girl. Great. There's no one white guy in it. But hold on a second. I think Nintendo has the spiritual Japanese power in telling the world the ideal of ending white supremacy should be an Asian-Aryan supremacy, right? It's out there. And so the 60-second wipeout, it's going to be real. We're seeing Black Lives Matter, and we're seeing these angry left-wing protests that SJWs are out of control. I think Atari Teenage Riot predicted 2017 in 1999. And so we need to use this digital hardcore and make a new alt-right version of it, or the energy, kind of like what White House was making angry and evil about raping little kids and Nazis. And Atari Teenage Riot was all like left-wing, yeah, TR 909, 808, Gabber stuff. They're close. This Asian-Aryanism comes from digital hardcore. Juju did it really good too, but not exactly digital hardcore, but it's the aesthetics that's making things. And me having a crush on Nintendo and loving Atari Teenage Riot, I think this is a spiritual band, and every single Asian-Aryan needs to listen to Atari Teenage Riot and get in the mode. And when they listen to hear Start the Riot, you're going to go into a different primal scream and you're going to become an elitist Asian-Aryan. You're going to get your Asian girlfriend or Asian boyfriend. You know, if you're Asian, your white boyfriend, white girlfriend, you're Eurasian, whatever. You're going to go out there on the streets and you're going to be saying, I'm going to fight for my Asian-Aryan ethno-state. And this is why Atari Teenage Riot is making Keck magic. It's real.